Meeting of the Dissertation Council, June 16, 2025. Local time, 3 p.m. Good afternoon, esteemed colleagues. This is a meeting of the Dissertation Council of Turan University for the training of specialists in the field of business and management in doctoral educational programs 8D04-101, 6D05-0600 Economics, 8D04-102, 6D05-0700 Management, 8D04-103, 6D05-0900 Finance. The Council convenes for the defense of a dissertation for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in Educational Program 8D04-102 Management. Permanent members of the Dissertation Council. Chairperson Guljan Jubatkanovna Tayaova, Doctor of Philosophy, Associate Professor, Vice Rector for External Relations and Doctorate, Turan University. Deputy Chairperson Gulnaz Janatovna Alibekova, Doctor of Philosophy, Deputy Director for Development and External Relations, Institute of Economics, Committee of Science, Ministry of Science and Higher Education of the Republic of Kazakhstan. Scientific Secretary Elmira Maratovna Yeralina, Doctor of Philosophy, Director of the Higher School of Economics and Management at Turan University. Member of the Dissertation Council, Raygul Dukenbay Kazadoshan, Doctor of Philosophy, Associate Professor, Director of the Center for Economic Research at Kazakh National University named after Al-Farabi. In accordance with the clause of the Model Regulation and the Dissertation Council, temporary members of the Dissertation Council have been appointed. Dinmuhamed Nurmuhametovich Kilesbayev, Doctor of Philosophy, Professor, Dean of the Faculty of Economics, Management and Law, International Kazakh-Turkish University, named after Hoja Ahmet Yasavi. Перизат Jangir Kızı Orunbet, Doctor of Philosophy, Director of the Department of Science, Associate Professor, Researcher at the Higher School of Marketing and Logistics at Turan University. Tunç Durmuş Medeni, Doctor of Philosophy, Professor, Ankara Yıldırım Beyazıt University from Turkey. At today's meeting, 7 members of the Dissertation Council are present. There are no absentees for valid reasons. A quorum is present. There is a motion to open the meeting. Those in favor, please vote. In favor, 7. Against, none. Abstained, none. And unanimously approved. The agenda includes one item. Defense of the doctoral dissertation of Aygerim Maratowna Sekirbaeva on the topic Innovation Management in Universities in the Republic of Kazakhstan within the Triple Helix Model Implementation, presented for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in the Educational Program AD04-102 Management. Scientific advisors, Saltanat Sarsimbayevna Tamenova, Candidate of Economic Sciences, Associate Professor, Director of the Center for Innovative Development of the Region, Research Professor at the Higher School of Economics and Management at Turan University. And Tatiana Vasilievna Pospelova, Candidate of Economic Sciences, Associate Professor at the Faculty of World Economy and International Affairs, National Research University, Higher School of Economics, representative of the International Triple Helix Association in Russian Federation. In accordance with Clause 21 of the Model Regulation and the Dissertation Council, the following official reviewers were appointed. Kozhakhmetova Asil Kusherbayevna, Doctor of Philosophy, Assistant Professor of the Business School of the Kazakh British Technical University. Aknur Jidebek kızı, Doctor of Philosophy, Associate Professor, Researcher at the School of Management at Almaty Management University. Now floor is given to Scientific Secretary of the Dissertation Council, Elmira Maratovna Yeralina, to report on the main contents of the doctoral candidates' documents and their compliance with the established requirements. Please.
Thank you, Gulzhana Jubatxanovna. Respected members of the Dissertation Council, let me report the main information about doctoral candidate. Айгерим Маратовна Секербаева was born on June 6, 1987 in Almaty, Republic of Kazakhstan, nationality Kazakh. From September 2020 to July 2023, she studied at Management Doctoral Program at Turan University. Doctoral candidate has 6 publications, including 3 publications in the journals from the list of recommended journals by the committee, 2 publications in international journals from the international database Scopus. Currently, Aygerim Sekirbaeva is working as a senior lecturer at Higher School of International Relations and Diplomacy at Turan University. In accordance with Clause 20 to the Model Regulations on the Dissertation Council, the following documents were submitted by doctoral candidate Aygerim Maratовна Sekirbaeva. An application addressed to the chair of the Dissertation Council, a conclusion from the extended meeting of the Higher School of Economics and Management, minutes number 1, dated April 14, 2025. Reviews from the domestic and international scientific supervisors, a list of scientific publications certified by the scientific secretary, along with copies of the publications. A conclusion from the ethics committee confirming the absence of violation in the planning, assessment, selection, conduct, and dissemination of the research results. The dissertation in both hard copy and electronic format. An official statement from the National Center for State Scientific and Technical Expertise confirming the results of the comparative analysis of Aygerim Maratовна Sekirbaeva's dissertation titled Innovation Management in Universities in the Republic of Kazakhstan within the Triple Helix Model Implementation. No overlap with the archives of the National Center was identified. An implementation statement, an official statement from the National Center for State Scientific and Technical Expertise confirming the existence of publications indexed in the International Scopus database. Publication has a percentile rank of 51 in business, management, and accounting, general. All documents have been made publicly available on the official website of Turan University. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor. Are there any questions to the scientific secretary regarding the candidate's personal file? No questions. Thank you. Now the floor is given to Aygerim Maratовна Секербаева to present the main points and results of the dissertation research. And time limit for the presentation up to 20 minutes, please, Aygerim.
Good afternoon, esteemed members of the Dissertation Committee. Thank you for the opportunity to present my doctoral research entitled Innovation Management in Universities in the Republic of Kazakhstan within the Triple Helix Model Implementation. This dissertation addresses one of the most pressing challenges in Kazakhstan's higher education, the need to enhance innovation management and graduate employability within the framework of the Triple Helix model. The topic is strategically relevant as it aligns with national priorities in education, science, and youth policy for sustainable economic development. Over the past 4 years, Kazakhstan's position in the Global Innovation Index has shown both fluctuations and gradual improvement. Several structural challenges persist, including relatively low innovation output efficiency, weak university-industry collaboration, and limited commercialization of research. The dissertation seeks to provide a comprehensive theoretical and methodological framework for innovation management In universities of Kazakhstan, the approach is grounded in the implementation of the triple helix model, which emphasizes the collaboration between universities, government, and industry to foster innovation and contribute to national economic development. To achieve the aim, the study set 5 key objectives: to examine innovation management within the triple helix framework, explore academic and international practices, and analyze factors influencing student entrepreneurship and graduate employability in Kazakhstan. Based on this, practical recommendations were developed to enhance university industry government collaboration and improve outcomes for students. So building on the research objectives, this study focuses on the innovation management system in Kazakhstan universities, shaped by the interaction between universities, government, and industry. It examines the mechanisms and tools used within universities to manage innovation, particularly through the triple helix model, with a central research question: how can innovation management in Kazakhstani universities be enhanced by implementing the triple helix model to foster student entrepreneurship and improve graduate employability? Building on this focus, the research yields the following novel insights. A new concept for innovation management in universities has been proposed, grounded in the triple helix model and entrepreneurial development based on theoretical and methodological analysis. A critical review of global research on the evolution of triple helix model allowed the identification of key thematic trends and factors. Third, a country-level comparative analysis has been conducted to assess the implementation of the triple helix model, resulting in tailored recommendations for Kazakhstan based on international experience recommendations. And the fourth, empirical findings reveal the main factors shaping student entrepreneurship and graduate employability in Kazakhstan. And the last, strategic approaches are proposed to strengthen innovation management in Kazakhstani universities with an emphasis on digitalization, entrepreneurship, and university business collaboration. So the research propositions formulated in this dissertation reflect both its theoretical positioning and empirical findings. I will now proceed to the defense of each, beginning with the first. So, building on the theoretical foundations of the classical triple helix model, this dissertation proposes a reinterpretation adapted to the internal dynamics of higher education institutions. Unlike the traditional model on the left, which emphasizes external institutional collaboration among universities, industry, and government, the USC concept, which stands for University Student Company, highlights the strategic role of students as internal agents of innovation within the university ecosystem. As shown in the comparative table, this internal orientation shifts the focus towards university-driven innovation management and its integration into higher education strategies, particularly in the context of Kazakhstan. So to illustrate how innovation management operates within the university context, this study introduces an original conceptual framework built on the logic of internal triple helix interaction. The USC spiral reinterprets traditional university-industry government relations by shifting the focus inward towards structured coordination among universities, students, and companies. As shown in figure, university-industry collaboration serves as both a foundation and a driver, shaping institutional infrastructure, U spiral, activating student agency, S spiral, and enabling targeted industry engagement, C spiral, thus positioning the university as a self-contained innovation ecosystem. So, the study of trends in the development of the triple helix model and university business partnerships has revealed important trends and factors that encourage innovation and shape the double helix model of university business interaction. The results revealed a striking disparity between global and national scientific output, which together with structural gaps in implementation pointed to the relevance of a double helix interaction model, one that prioritizes stronger UIC mechanisms and cluster-based development strategies tailored for Kazakhstan's context. So to get a clearer picture of how the topic of university-industry collaboration has evolved in academic literature over the long term, we mapped its development from 1978 to 2024, both globally and in the context of Kazakhstan. Based on the analysis of thematic trends in triple helix research, we identified 3 core factors influencing thematic evolution. So the first, the density of institutional interaction among actors. Second, the presence of stable cooperation mechanisms mechanisms, and the third, broader political economic conditions shaping national innovation capacity. These factors underlie a global shift visible in keyword co-occurrence from general notions like university-industry collaboration to more targeted themes such as entrepreneurship, governance, and knowledge management, especially after 2019. China illustrates these trends with strong state-led coordination between 2014 and 2017. In contrast, Kazakhstan's landscape is marked by weak thematic integration, limited SME engagement, and prevailing university industry. It is double helix model, reflecting fragmented and underdeveloped innovation discourse. To deepen our analysis, we examined how institutional factors influence innovation outcomes across national contexts using global innovation data index data from 2008 to 2023. We found a strong correlation between university-industry collaboration and innovation cluster development in China, 0.81, and Japan, 0.78, reflected in top-ranked clusters such as Tokyo, Yokohama, Beijing, Shenzhen, Hong Kong, and Guangzhou. These hubs thrive on close coordination between universities and businesses, boosting national innovation capacity. In contrast, Kazakhstan shows weak correlation, 0.10, pointing to fragmented linkages and limited policy support. The state remains a distant regulator rather than an active integrator. To address this, our USC concept reframes the university as a proactive coordinator, connecting government strategy with market demands. Political stability strongly supports entrepreneurship in China, negative 0.86, and Italy, negative 0.84, where improved governance has enhanced conditions for starting a business. In Kazakhstan, negative 0.18, and Japan, negative 0.11, the relationship is weaker, suggesting the presence of other institutional or procedural constraints. In Kazakhstan's case, the state acts more as a distant regulator, while systemic mechanisms for fostering coordinated collaboration remain underdeveloped. So our recommendations are grounded in global research, innovation, trend analysis, and global innovation index-based comparisons across China, Japan, Italy, and Kazakhstan, while Kazakhstan addresses key areas like trusts, SME engagement, and research output efforts remain fragmented. As shown in figure, our proposed framework brings this element together, strengthening institutional support on the left, boosting SME participation on the top, and fostering regional ties and university research ecosystems on the right to enhance the socio-economic impact of innovation and improve labor productivity. Building on the previous framework, a set of mechanisms is proposed to activate university-industry collaboration in Kazakhstan, including joint research, technological transfer, talent development, startup incubation. While such tools exist in policy, they often function in isolation. This research contributes by integrating them into a coherent triple helix-oriented strategy tailored to national conditions. Framed within the USC concept, the approach positions the university as an internal coordination hub, transforming fragmented efforts into structured, scalable innovation capacity. So, as outlined in our proposed USC concept, students are viewed as key internal agents of innovation and essential bridges between universities and industry. From this perspective, understanding student entrepreneurship is central to advancing university-driven innovation strategies. The study investigates how the university environment influences entrepreneurial intentions among Kazakhstani students. Using 2021 guest dataset and a clean sample of 713 respondents from over 30 universities, structural equation modeling was applied to test 20 hypotheses, incorporating psychological moderators such as locus of control and entrepreneurial self-efficacy. 13 hypotheses were supported after model refinement. The findings identify which institutional and psychological factors most affect student entrepreneurship, providing evidence for targeted innovation strategies in higher education. So the model illustrates how the university environment and program learning influence students' entrepreneurial intentions and attitudes, with entrepreneurial self-efficacy and locus of control acting as key psychological moderators, so in orange. So building on the initial model, this refined version reflects the final results after excluding unsupported hypotheses. The analysis confirms that entrepreneurial self-efficacy plays the most decisive role, strongly influencing both intention, 0.68, and attitude, 0.66. Program learning significantly contributes to shaping both self-efficacy, 0.40, and locus of control, 0.29, while the latter shows only weak impact on outcomes. These findings suggest that psychological enablers matter, but only when supported by practical learning-based experiences. While the university environment shows limited direct influence on entrepreneurial outcomes, its effects are mediated through psychological factors, most notably entrepreneurial self-efficacy, and to a less extent, locus of control, with 54.2% of the variance in intention and 47.7% in attitude explained. The results suggest that motivation and entrepreneurial mindset are shaped not simply by context, but by how students internalize and experience that context. This underscores the importance of learning environments that actively cultivate confidence, agency, and applied entrepreneurial engagement. So after examining how universities shape students' entrepreneurial mindsets, we extended our analysis to a more immediate outcome, the likelihood of securing employment after graduation. As employment is one of the most tangible and policy-relevant forms of interaction between universities, students, and industry, it directly reflects the effectiveness of university-industry collaboration within the triple helix. This justified our shift towards studying graduate employability as a critical outcome of innovation ecosystems. Using logistic regression on survey data from 300 Kazakhstani graduates, we tested how both institutional and personal factors influence employment in the graduates' fields of study. The findings reveal two clear barriers to employment: lack of experience and the limited number of job offers in one specialty, both of which significantly reduce employability. On the positive side, personal networks, such as connections with friends or relatives, proved to be the strongest predictor of employment success, while university engagement in research, innovation, and entrepreneurship also contributed meaningfully, though to a less extent. Beyond statistical relevance, the model shows strong predictive power and can serve as a practical tool for career centers and policymakers. It helps identify where structural gaps exist and highlights the importance of reinforcing innovation ecosystems and professional networks to improve graduate outcomes in a measurable, evidence-based way. Having identified the institutional and psychological factors that influence both entrepreneurial intention and graduate employment, the final part of the study focuses on how Kazakhstani universities can strategically respond. We propose two strategic approaches that operationalize the logic of the triple helix model. One focused on enhancing student motivation through learning platforms using the goal gradient effect, and the other aimed at improving employability through AI-integrated career guidance systems. So to ground these strategic recommendations in practical evidence, we conducted a benchmarking analysis of global and Kazakhstani practices. This included two strands. First, the use of goal gradient effect tools in educational platforms, and second, the integration of AI into university career centers. As part of this effort, a digital audit was conducted using UniChecker, an original program developed by the author in Python, which analyzed over 100 Kazakhstani university websites. The audit revealed that only 6 universities had adopted AI-based career services, and just 5 incorporated motivational design elements into their learning platforms. These findings highlight a clear implementation gap and help define where innovation efforts should be strategically targeted. Building on the empirical findings of this study, the proposed framework illustrates how strategic innovation management within universities can foster student entrepreneurship through interconnected, evidence-based pathways. Learning programs shown to significantly influence self-efficacy and locus of control play a foundational role in shaping entrepreneurial mindsets. Complementing this, digital platforms designed with goal gradient mechanisms further enhance student motivation, academic performance, and task persistence. Although the direct effect of the university environment was limited, its indirect contributions through psychological enablers and collaborative opportunities remains essential. Together, these components converge to produce tangible innovation outcomes such as student-led startup, project-based partnerships, affirming the university's role as a catalytic actor within the triple helix system. So, to address the barriers identified in our graduate employability analysis, we propose a strategic recommendations framework to support the transformation of university career centers. Our regression results reveal that graduates' employment likelihood improves through innovation engagement and access to informal networks, while structural challenges such as lack of experience persist. This framework offers a roadmap for career centers to become proactive institutional actors by adopting AI-based tools for career planning, skills diagnostics, real-time job matching, strengthening partnerships with industry, and embedding data-informed advising into student pathways. In doing so, career centers can move beyond administrative functions to become innovation-driven hubs, directly contributing to graduate outcomes and reinforcing the university's role within the triple helix framework. So this dissertation offers an evidence-based roadmap for strengthening innovation management in Kazakhstani universities by advancing student entrepreneurship, graduate employability, and systemic collaboration through the triple helix system. Thank you very much for your attention and for the opportunity to present my research.
Thank you. Dear members of the Dissertation Council, you may now address your questions to the doctoral candidate. The doctoral candidate should respond to questions immediately after they are asked by members of the council. Please, you can take notes.
Yeah, okay.
Right?
I will be taking the note.
Okay. Please, professors. Yeah.
Okay, Айгерим Маратовна, my question is first, how did you account for institutional differences among Kazakhstani universities when developing a unified innovation concept? For instance, if we take into account that Kazakhstani universities vary significantly in terms of scale, their funding, their research capability, academic capability.
So we focused our research more on university student level, since in academic publications, a limited attention given to a student as a main active agent in the triple helix system. So my concept address more, it is more student-centered. How did I address? So in a micro level, I addressed, while the classical triple helix is addressed more at a macro level. When classical triple helix emphasizes more on a macro level interaction between three institutions, in universities, it is within the university innovation ecosystems trilateral cooperation, where the student is the main active agent, driver of innovation, and the bridge to the industry, to the business sector. So that's why we positioned our concept more as a theoretical and heuristic, policy-oriented framework.
Okay, how many universities did you cover?
Well, we've covered a lot of universities depending on which analysis we've run. For example, in our in the fifth propositions, we've analyzed. I mean, we have created a UniChecker platform to analyze over 100 of universities, Kazakhstani universities' websites. And while pointing out this, thank you for the question, I was also would like to point out the limitation during the study that not all the websites provide the sufficient information regarding that. But we have created the Python for a certain keywords, for certain keywords elements on motivational tools, for example, on AI tools, so that it could analyze all these websites of these universities, whether their digital platforms have these motivational tools, progress bars, and whether their career centers have their AI integrated systems.
Thank you. And the next is, what is the main difference of your proposed innovation management concept and the existing approaches in order to climb the scientific novelty? You know that you must clearly highlight your approach and what exactly makes your concept unique compared with the others scholars approach.
Okay, I got it. Thank you for relevant question. So in classical triple helix, our proposed concept, it is not challenging the triple helix itself, but complements the triple helix system overall, where in the triple helix, as I've said before, as I've mentioned, that triple helix, the spirals, the agents in that triple helix system, they interact, their emphasis on a macro level, they interact within each other on the institutional level, while our concept interacts within the university ecosystem between the university, student, and companies, where the students, not universities, but the students are the main producers of the innovation and the main driver of the innovation within the university. So because universities should produce the students, innovative students, capable of being engaged into entrepreneurial activities. So that's the difference on macro and micro level. This is macro level on the institutional level, huge, like government, industry, on a macro level, while the proposed concept is at micro level, just within the university's innovation ecosystem. That's the difference. And while conducting a substantial amount of literature, I have found out that usually the student, they are more or less like not addressed as a main agent. They are mentioned in publication, but the students are not theoretically contextualized in the literature. So that's why we have decided to propose it as separate concept.
Great. Thank you. And one more question is, how did you ensure the validity of your research and the representativeness of the alumni survey, considering the potential response bias and the regional disparities?
Our second graduate, thank you for the question. Our second graduate employability survey have surveyed over around 300 graduates, and the items in the questionnaires were confirmed by Cronbach Alpha, 0.7 something as far as I remember. And also the validity of the quantity, the representatives itself is calculated by Cochrane formula, statistically internationally recognized. Also, it was surveyed across all regions. It covered all regions of Kazakhstani regions. Yeah.
Okay, and 300 respondents. Do you think that it's fully representative?
Yeah, well, of course, I hoped to take more, but I cannot force everyone. But the validity was ensured by Cochrane formula, and this graduate employability article was published in Q2 Problems and Perspective Management Journal, and it was validated. Everything was okay with that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
May I ask? Thank you, Aygerim, for this research and analysis. Okay. Thank you, Aygerim, for first. And that I want to continue the questions of the Doshan Regul about choose these countries, Italy, China, and Japan, to choose the countries for your comparative benchmarking. And there,
Mhm.
I want to know, how did this comparison form your recommendations for Kazakhstan?
Mhm,
How
mhm.
to say?
Thank you for the question, Перизат Жангырқызы. Japan, China, and Italy were selected for comparative benchmarking due to their distinctive yet instructive experiences with implementing the triple helix model and fostering innovation ecosystem. These countries were among the most prominently featured in our bibliometric mapping and highlighting their relevance to a global innovation agenda. Innovation discourse, I mean, so their national policies and institutional frameworks offer diverse models. For example, from Japan's coordinated innovation governance to China's integration of entrepreneurship in higher education, and to Italy's evolution of regional clusters, which present applicable lessons for Kazakhstan. And additionally, these countries were analyzed across a 16-year-old longitudinal global innovation index from 2008 to 2023 on 4 key indicators: political stability, ease of starting a business, university industry research collaboration, and the state of cluster development. So this dual analytical approach, literature-driven and data-driven, helped identify structural gap and informed targeted recommendations tailored just for enhancing Kazakhstan's innovation management practices in higher education. Yeah, I hope I could address your question.
Thank you. Next question, I want to ask you about your limitations and what limitations did you face during your research, and how do they open pathway for future research or implementations?
Okay, thank you. This dissertation was purposefully designed to address the institutional gap in innovation management within the Kazakhstani universities, particularly in how they engage with the principles of triple helix model. The research focused empirically on university and student level was an intentional scope to enhance intentional scope, as the core problem lies in how universities can operationalize innovation and entrepreneurship internally to enhance student outcomes. While the empirical phase didn't directly involve government and business actors through interviews or surveys, their influence was integrated through a longitudinal and correlational analysis of global innovation index indicators, such as I've previously mentioned them. And across 4 countries, Japan, China, Italy, and Kazakhstan, these dimensions allowed us to observe the structural performance of national innovation systems and extract relevant policy lessons. And furthermore, the use of bibliometric analysis enabled us to identify underrepresented innovation themes in Kazakhstan academic discourse, further justifying the focus on university transformation. And this layered approach, combining system level indicated international benchmarking and deep university level inquiry, ensures that all 3 triple helix agents are theoretical and contextually addressed. And nonetheless, future research may complement this work through direct institutional studies with government bodies and firms, or through multi-stakeholders pilot testing of our concept proposed. And the research, I would say, rather delineates the next logical step for Kazakhstan innovation agenda. I hope I could respond to all your question.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you too.
Aigerim, I have 2 questions for you.
I can hear you.
Yes. You did large of bibliometric analysis.
Uh-huh.
First question about that. How did your bibliometric analysis contribute to understanding innovation trends in higher education? First question. Second question, what main academic and policy contribution does your dissertation make?
This first bibliometric. Okay, thank you for the question, Dinmuhamed Nurmuhambetovich. To rigorously map the global landscape with university industry collaboration and regional innovation, we conducted bibliometric analysis using both Scopus and Web of Science databases with VOSViewer and BiblioShiny via RStudio bibliometrics tool. We visualized co-authorship networks, keyword clusters, and thematic evolution over time. What we uncovered was a decisive shift from isolated discussions of R&D linkages to integrated models like smart specialization, innovation ecosystems, triple helix driven governance, knowledge management in a global context. This thematic transformation demonstrates that universities are now viewed globally not only as knowledge performance, but as central agents of regional economic and innovation development. And crucially, Kazakhstan's limited visibility in this evolving scholarly discourse stood out. The empirical observation not only reinforced the relevance of our research focus, it understood the strategic necessity of embedding Kazakhstani universities within globally aligned innovation-led collaboration systems. Second question, academic policy and contributions. Yeah, yes. So good question. Academically, the dissertation expands the triple helix framework by introducing the USC concept, which formally recognizes the student as an internal agent of innovation within the university. This conceptual shift addresses a key gap in the literature where students are often treated as passive recipients rather than active contributors to innovation ecosystems. And methodologically, the study combines large-scale international data, GES, and the regional national survey, data using also structural equation modeling and logistic regression. And also this dual empirical lens offers strong analytical rigor and allows both theoretical testing and contextual relevance, valuable contribution given the limited integration of a mixed methods approach in similar research settings. In terms of policy, the findings offer direct, actionable insights for universities seeking to improve graduate outcomes on a regional level. First, the limited effect of university programs on building entrepreneurial intention indicates that need to embed psychological development, such as confidence, building internal locus of control, into curricula itself. And this can be achieved through mentoring, reflective practices, startup simulations, and the use of motivational tools in the digital platforms. Also, second, the dominance of personal networks in employment outcomes highlights the urgency of professionalizing career support in the universities. Universities should create structured employer networks, as I've said before. And third, the use of data-driven benchmarking tools, such as UniChecker, and it could be developed further, I would say. And thank you.
Yeah.
I hope I could cover all your
Thank you.
questions.
Good afternoon, Miss Айгерим Маратовна. Thank you for your interesting presentation. I have several questions for you. So first, let me begin with a question on student entrepreneurship. In your opinion, what is an actual impact of student entrepreneurship on the overall innovation activity of the university? So how these two concepts are related in practice, and please provide some specific cases or relevant examples.
Can I turn to presentation? I would like to show the models, the final model. So as you see, the final models, as far as I understood your question, how entrepreneurial intentions and students' entrepreneurship contributes to regional
overall innovation
innovation
activity of the university.
activity of the universities. So, as we have pointed out, two moderators, entrepreneurial self-efficacy and locus of control, as the mediators between university environment program and program learning to entrepreneurial intention and entrepreneurial attitudes. So, by controlling and managing, by stimulating the students' entrepreneurship via those variables like self-efficacy and locus of control, the student can be engaged more into entrepreneurial activities, and thus to contribute to university's innovation output. If the student has internal locus of control, higher internal locus of control and self-efficacy, it is motivated, it means that he is can be more engaged into activities with the industries, while the students with low locus of control, or in other words, with low confidence or external attribution, they are less likely to engage into entrepreneurial activities. By fostering the students' entrepreneurship, the university can enhance its innovation outputs, and also, moreover, according to our graduate employability, which adds up to our second empirical data, university can, the entrepreneurship is also, the firms can produce, they can provide the students with work. Or while interacting with the universities, the students can be engaged into these activities, which is both effectively for industries and for universities. By this, university can enhance not only the entrepreneurship among the students, but overall the regional development. I hope I could address your question.
Thank you. And question related to your first empirical study about entrepreneurial intentions. So you wrote that survey sample consisted of more than 2,700 students, but for actual analysis, the final data set consisted of 713 students. Could you please explain this data cleaning? What was the justification for such a drastic decrease?
The confirmation factor analysis was used to validate the cleansing of the data. Not all the respondents have been answering to all questions, and the data cleansing was selected on the main items who answered the main questions of the questionnaire. Those were selected. Among them was only 730 students, which each of the items were confirmed their answers with CFI.
Okay, and the last question. In your third chapter, you proposed an AI-driven career center model. Are you familiar with recent concerns about the risk of bias of using AI-driven models in recruiting, in consulting, and so on? So how your proposed recommendations and solutions address this issue, the issue of AI bias?
So in my dissertation, I have addressed it, although not much in the third chapter, and also the ethical issues also have been taken into account. So in order to address all ethical issues, I think university and industry should work collaboratively, because universities, their output is student. They need to be employed, while the industry should be interested in the student. And both, while integrating into career system.ai, they can work cohesively together in order to prevent such unethical issues that may arise. And also while creating the program itself and integrating AI system into career center platforms, I think the best maybe back data engineers should be involved.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you too.
I have one question. Aygerim?
I can hear.
You can hear, okay? Now? Can you hear?
Yep.
Okay, what aspects of your research do you believe are the most transferable to other countries or regions, and what would need to be adapted when transferring them?
Mhm. Thank you for the question, Gulnaz. To address this, I would say that the psychological mechanisms identified in our research, such as the role of self-efficacy in entrepreneurial behavior, are widely transferable, are grounded in behavioral theory. And the structural tools we propose, like tax incentives and university industry collaboration models, also reflect global best practices. And however, their institutional implementation would need adaptation. For example, in contexts with stronger institutional autonomy or more developed private sectors, collaboration frameworks might be more decentralized. Our conceptual contribution offers a flexible foundation, but successful transfer depends on aligning with local governance and educational systems. I hope I have responded to your question fully.
I have one question also. Here in your research propositions, you mentioned about strategic approaches to innovation management in Kazakhstan universities have been proposed based on the integration of artificial intelligence and visualization of the psychological goal-driven effect into digital platforms. Here, what is the result? What you mean by psychological goal-driven gradient effect, and how you just show this, or any influence of this to the relationship in innovation management and universities triple helix model implementation.
So in this dissertation, we approach innovation management in universities as both a strategic and operational process. And at the strategic level, we examine how universities are positioned with national innovation system and the triple helix framework, as I said. And this, well, I repeat myself. This includes our longitudinal correlation analysis of global innovation index data and policy benchmarking across Kazakhstan, China, Italy, Japan. While all of them highlights the system level factors as public funding, institutional collaboration, and regional disparities, at the operational levels, we explore how innovation is managed internally through AI enhanced career platforms and motivational tools like the growth gradient effect. Our two empirical studies reflect this structure. One focused on how university environments affect entrepreneurial intentions. The other analyzes determinants of graduate employability. And the subsection 3.3 further expands the strategic view by examining how government policy supports this institutional innovation capacity and labor market alignment with the help of these tools like goal gradient effect and AI integration to career centers. And these components present a comprehensive and multi-layered understanding of how innovation is governed, managed, and enacted in the university context.
And next question is about global entrepreneurship students survey you mentioned already in your dissertation. We know that the Turan University is a center for doing that research, and our PhD students are involved in that research. So what is the effect which you mentioned in as a result of this survey? You included your additional survey regarding the students' intention, entrepreneurial intention. What is the effect, and let's say to the all the innovations which is made at the university and the relationship with the business.
I got your question. So first, starting from the guest entrepreneurial intention, we have addressed that student entrepreneurship is a main outcome of university innovation. As an output, universities should better to produce entrepreneurial or entrepreneurial intended students, since the entrepreneurship and also the employment itself are the most substantial forms of interaction between university and industry. So that's why we have taken these two variables.
Next question is about the triple helix model itself. So we know that this is the interaction between university, business, and state, right? We in our model involved to this model actually two different other criteria. So we call it as a STAR model, and involved to that business associations, professional associations, and non-governmental organizations. What do you think about their role in maybe enhancing this interaction?
I would say your STAR model, also quadruple or quintuple helixes, or in other words, it is usually in publication addressed at like second or third mode of knowledge. They, as you said, yes, they enhance the overall interaction and good circulation between the institutions. It facilitates the interaction. So that is the point. It facilitates, of course, it is always harder to stand alone when the region is huge and all the agents need to help each other. From that stand, yeah.
And the other question is related to the topic of the dissertation, innovation management, right? So you mentioned about innovation management in university. So what do you mean by innovation in university? How that can be managed within the context of the triple helix?
So in my dissertation in table 1, in table 10, as far as I remember, I don't remember the numbers, I cannot recall them. In my dissertation, I have addressed the two tables where the strategic approaches and innovation management, vice management innovation were addressed, the differences between them, and within the university context, how we can use it. So so as I've also said before, in 2 level, we have addressed it, our dissertation, at both level, at strategic and operational level. So strategic level included more the international benchmarking and the positioning universities as institution in the triple helix framework, and also conducting the Global Innovation Index data along 16-year across 4 countries. And at operational level, what we have proposed, AI integrated enhanced career centers, integrating Gold Graduate into digital learning platforms, all of them are considered as operational level of innovation management in the universities.
Thank you. Any other questions, colleagues? Do you have any other questions?
Yes, I can also ask
yes,
question.
of course, Professor.
Thank you for the presentation and the questions and answers. And I know the topic of this dissertation is mainly focusing on triple helix. But also, as you know, there are other perspectives in addition to this triple helix, like quadruple helix and pentahelix, although they have different interpretations. And you have mentioned some of these issues as well in your text, but I would appreciate if you could please comment a bit on quadruple and pentahelix approach in addition to triple helix ones.
Thank you for
Is
the.
my first question.
Okay, it was like a comment. Thank you for the insightful question. I have addressed the quadruple and other type of helixes in my dissertation in page 26 as second and third mode of knowledge, that these helixes were previously mentioned as second and third mode of knowledge. So that's why. But our topic of the dissertation, the scope was around the triple helix. So that's why we've just addressed it theoretically a little bit in page 26. Thank you.
Yeah, I agree, but again, I think as these are all related with national innovation models, it would be good to elaborate further about quadruple helix and pentahelix and how, for instance, co-creation, civic society, and other related issues about socio-economic and environmental impacts would contribute for innovation purposes. These are good topics to add into your dissertation. Even if you mainly focus on triple helix. And also, I think, will we have another round for final comments? If so, I can leave my other question and comments for the other round. Or I can ask one more question now.
Professor Medini, you can ask your questions. We also have the final round for the discussion.
Okay, so yeah, then I can leave my comments, remaining questions and comments for the final discussion.
Thank you, Professor. In our future research work, we will take that account, the other helixes too. We are planning it, actually. Thank you.
Okay, good to know.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Professor Medini. Dear colleagues, now we give the floor to scientific supervisors. First floor is given to the scientific supervisor Saltanat Sarsimbayevna Tamenova, candidate of Economic Sciences, Associate Professor, Director of the Center for Regional Innovation Development and Research Professor at the Higher School of Economics and Management at Turan University. Please, Professor, floor is yours.
Tatiana, can I start?
Yeah, we can hear.
Okay. Dear Chairman and members of the Dissertation Council, it is a privilege to address you today as a scientific advisor of Aigerim Sekerbaeva. Aigerim has demonstrated outstanding academic maturity, methodological procedures, and strong capacity for independent research. Her dissertation explores a timely and complex topic, innovation management in universities within the triple helix framework. What distinguishes this work is its dual-level approach, examine both strategic system-level dynamics and operational mechanisms within the universities. The research also remarkable for its two independent empirical investigations, one based on gas survey dataset assessing student entrepreneurial intentions. The other exploring graduate employability using a logistic regression model. Both are methodological robust and address different yet interlinked aspects of university innovation roles. Among her original contribution is the university student company concept, a theoretically grounded and practically relevant perspective that positions students as active agents in innovation ecosystems. This idea enriched existing triple helix theory by emphasizing the internal dynamics of students' engagement. Her work also includes a comparative analysis of innovation ecosystem in Kazakhstan, China, Japan, and Italy, drawing on longitudinal GIA data. Moreover, she developed a digital audit tool, UniChecker, which are applied to over 100 Kazakhstani university websites to assess digital strategies in career development and student motivation. The practical value of this dissertation is evident in its policy recommendations tailored to the Kazakhstani higher education systems, aimed at bridging the gap between innovation and employability. I am confident that this dissertation makes a significant academic and practical contribution to the field. I am proud to have guided her through this journey and to witness her growth into a competent and thoughtful scholar. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor. Now let me give the floor to the foreign scientific supervisor, Tatiana Vasilyevna Pospelova, Associate Professor at the Faculty of World Economy and International Affairs, National Research University Higher School of Economics, and also representative of the Triple Helix Association in the Russian Federation. Please welcome, Professor.
Thank you so much. I have a text of review, but if you don't mind, I will talk my own words. And I want to mention that Aigerim did a great work. And I want to mention a few things. First of all, is a practical way how she analyzed, how she did her analysis by trying to implement the theory of triple helix in a practical way in a Kazakhstan model. And these things, like in general, if we can find critical things about triple helix model in general because of no practical cases. And Aigerim show that it can be implemented, an example of Kazakhstan. And the second thing that I also want to mention in Aigerim research is that it was during the discussion a question about level. So triple helix model is mostly using in a macro level, but Aigerim tried to implement it in a micro level. That is also shows the different ways how the methodology can be used. I would like to mention that it was my pleasure to work with Aigerim. She's well organized and all things as she needed to do with me as a foreign tutorial, she did on time with pay attention. And that is, so I think that I want to mention that Aigerim, she did a great job. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Professor. And now we will give the floor to the official reviewers. First floor is given to the official reviewer, Asel Kusherbayevna Kuzhahmetova, Doctor of Philosophy, Assistant Professor at the Business School of the Kazakh British Technical University. Please, Professor, floor is yours.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
Dear dissertation council members, dear applicant, let me present the review of the official reviewer on the dissertation work of Sekербаева Айгерим Маратовна on the topic Innovation Management in Universities in the Republic of Kazakhstan within the Triple Helix Model Implementation, submitted for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in the educational program 8D04102 Management. So as you know, the full version of this review is published on the official website of the Dissertation Council. That's why I'll try to be brief, okay? Because this review consists of around 20 pages and 13 criteria. I just share my opinion related to each criteria briefly. So the first criteria, the topic of the thesis as of the date of its approval corresponds to the directions of scientific development and or state programs. The dissertation corresponds to specialized scientific fields and several concepts and programs. Also, dissertation corresponds to the priority area of scientific development in the Republic of Kazakhstan. Criteria number 2, the importance for science. The work makes a significant contribution to science and its importance is well disclosed. Criteria number 3, the principle of independence. Self-reliance level is high. Criteria number 4, the principle of internal unity. Justification of the relevance of the thesis justified. It is well justified and grounded. The concept of the thesis reflects the topic of the thesis. The aim and objectives are consistent with the thesis topic, fully interrelated. The next point, the solutions proposed by the author are substantiated and evaluated in comparison with existing approaches. Critical analysis is present. The next criteria number 5, principle of scientific novelty. The scientific results and statements completely new. Conclusions of the dissertation completely new. The technical, technological, economic, or managerial solutions are new. The next criteria, validity of the main conclusions. All key conclusions are based on scientifically sound evidence or are sufficiently well substantiated. Criteria number 7, key prepositions submitted for defense. There are 5 propositions. So proposition number 1 is proven, not trivial, is new, scope of application is broad, and it is supported in a publication. Proposition number 2, partially proven, not trivial, it is new, scope of application is broad, also it is supported in a publication. Proposition number 3 is also proven, it is not trivial, it is new, scope of application moderate, and also it is supported in a publication. And the last 2 propositions is also partially proven, not trivial, they are new, scope of application is broad, and they are supported in a publication. Principle number 8, principle of reliability, credibility of sources in the information provided. The choice of methodology justified and methodology described in sufficient detail. The results of the dissertation obtained using modern scientific research methods and data processing and interpretation techniques, including the use of computer technologies. The theoretical conclusions, models, identified relationships and patterns substantiated and confirmed by experimental research. The next principle number 9, principle of practical relevance. The dissertation have theoretical significance, the principle and practical significance presented and proven. The practical recommendations are new. Criteria number 10, quality of writing and formatting. The quality is high and dissertation text is formatted in accordance with academic standards of scholarly writing. So criteria number 11, comments on the dissertation. So the first comment, In the theoretical section of the dissertation, a clearer distinction could be made between the concepts of innovation management and managing innovation in universities, as these terms are often interpreted differently in the academic literature. And the second comment is similar with, as mentioned by Professor Tunç, because I also added these comments about quadruple helix. Yes, when discussing the triple helix model, it may also be helpful to briefly acknowledge extended version such as quadruple helix. So, but these remarks are clarificatory in nature and don't detract from the scientific or practical value of the dissertation. Overall, they have no impact on the positive assessment of the study. So, yeah, criteria number 12, the scholarly quality of the doctoral candidates' publications related to the research topic. These criteria is completely done. So the last criterion, decision of the official reviewer. The dissertation by Aygерим Маратовна Секербаева, titled Innovation Management in Universities in the Republic of Kazakhstan within the triple helix model implementation, meets the requirements set out in Chapter 2 of the rules for the awarding of degrees for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. The work is characterized by its strong theoretical foundation, relevance of the topic, sound methodology, and practical significance of the results obtained. Based on the review of the dissertation and the author's publications related to the research topic, I consider that the author fully merits the awarding of the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in the educational program AD04102 Management. I recommend that Aygерим Маратовна Секербаева be awarded the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor. Now I would like to give the floor to the second official reviewer, Aknur Jidebekqızı, Doctor of Philosophy, Associate Professor and Researcher at the School of Management at Almaty Management University. Please, Professor.
Thank you. Dear Dissertation Council, let me present my official review for the dissertation titled Innovation Management in Universities in the Republic of Kazakhstan within the triple helix model implementation. So first criteria was about the alignment to state programs or other priority areas. So the topic of the dissertation corresponds to the current priorities of state policy in the field of higher education. Namely, it is aligned with two strategic documents, like resolution of the government of Kazakhstan on the approval of the concept for development of higher education and science for 2023 and 2029. And also, it is aligned to the concept of state use policy in the Republic of Kazakhstan, also for 2023 and 2029. So that's why we can say that the dissertation is aligned with the strategic priorities for the development of science and higher education in Kazakhstan. Second, the dissertation does make a significant contribution to science. It offers a meaningful contribution to the advancement of scholarly knowledge in the fields of management, education, economics, and innovation studies. Next, the self-reliance level is high. The author's level of independence is assessed as high because it's evidenced by the originality of the research problem, its formulation of scientific propositions, and development of an original conceptual framework for innovation management and universities. And also, throughout the whole dissertation, we see that author independently conducted bibliometric analysis, thematic analysis, empirical research, and so on. So that's why by publication and by the dissertation itself, we can say that the principle of independence is high. Justification of the relevance of the thesis, it is justified. Author clearly identifies a scientifically and practically significant problems, namely the lack of systematic approach of innovation management in Kazakhstani universities, and study considers both the international and national contexts, pays attention to the importance of fostering student entrepreneurial skills, and that's why I could say that the relevance of the topic is presented in a consistent, well-reasoned manner. Next, the content of the thesis fully reflects the topic of the dissertation. All chapters are logically connected to the central focus and the research question of the study. And the next, the aim and objectives of the dissertation are consistent with the thesis topic. So it fully corresponds to the thesis topic and content. All sections and statements of the thesis are logically interrelated. So it has very clear internal logic and a good, well-reasoned structure. First, theoretical and methodological foundations provide a solid basis for analyzing the national context. Then in the second chapter, we see empirical studies that are logically follow from the stated research problem and objectives. Then in the third chapter, there are practical recommendations and suggestions related to the identified problems and barriers. Then next, the author demonstrates a strong level of critical thinking and scientific reasoning. So the solutions proposed by the author in comparison with existing approaches present critical analysis. Now, scientific results and statements, principles of novelty, I'd say that they are partially new. And the dissertation contains substantial scientific novelty, and the proposed statements could be identified as partially new in somehow between 25 and 75%. So I'm not going to read all propositions, but all of them contain original work, original propositions. All of them are well substantiated, logically aligned with research objectives, and introduced into Kazakhstan's context for the first time. Conclusions of the dissertation are also partially new. They are based on the results of theoretical and empirical studies conducted by the author. One interesting part of this I'd like to mention is empirical research based on guess, empirical metadata. The second study is also interesting since it's based on sociological survey among Kazakhstani students. So conclusions based on empirical research are scientifically novel, do not replicate existing findings, and tailored to the Kazakhstani context. Technical, technological, economic, and managerial solutions are substantiated. They are partially new, scientifically grounded, and in compliance with the educational program related to management. And next, key conclusions are based on scientifically sound evidence and sufficiently well substantiated. For example, theoretical propositions are supported by critical literature review and bibliometric analysis using different tools like BibliaShiny, Bibliometrics package. And for example, empirical component includes 2 empirical studies, including processing by different software. And all these combination of multi-level quantitative analysis with original solutions ensure that all findings and overall scientific rigor of the dissertation is of high quality. The next criteria is about the key propositions submitted for the defense. So first proposition has been proven. It's not trivial, it's new. Scope of its application is broad and it is supported in a publication. Second proposition has been partially proven. It's not trivial, it is new. Scope of application is broad and it is also supported by a relevant publication. Third proposition is also proven. It's not trivial, it is new, and the scope of publication application is broad and it is also supported by publication. Fourth proposition is proven, not trivial, new, and with moderate level of application, I'd say, and supported in the publication. And lastly, the fifth proposition, it's partially proven, not trivial, new, with broad scope of application and supported in a publication. So a principle of reliability, credibility of sources and information provided. So I should mention that the methodology of the dissertation is well justified, thoroughly presented with its clear internal logic. And results of the dissertation were obtained using modern scientific analysis methods, including combination of quantitative and comparative approaches. So author used data processing through specialized software like bibliometrics, Jamovi, IBM SPSS statistics, Python, and so on. And theoretical conclusions, models, and identified patterns in the dissertation are confirmed by the results of well-substantiated empirical studies. Then key statements confirmed to relevant and reliable scientific literature, and there is lots of used credible sources. 381 sources were used to conduct the presented thesis, which is more than enough. It covers a broad range of contemporary theoretical and empirical studies, including both international and national sources. This ensures the comprehensiveness and validity of the analysis. The dissertation has practical significance for higher education system and the national innovation policy. As I said before, findings and recommendations are aligned with the objective of key policy documents in Kazakhstan. And also it has one implementation act provided by the university. So practical recommendations are partially new. Solutions were developed independently by the author based on the analysis in the Kazakhstani context, and it correlates to the identified gaps and proposes some recommendations, for example, related to student graduate employability, to digital audit tools, or proposals for integrating behavioral mechanisms and management recommendations inspired by the triple helix model, and so on. Quality of academic writing is high. The dissertation is in very good English, so it is characterized by a high standard of academic writing, and also used all narrative in a logical manner. Terminology is used appropriately, and so on. Comments on the dissertation. I have two comments here. The first one is it would be good if author could include some cases of real student startups or real student entrepreneurs supported by universities and analyzed their contribution to the development of innovative products. So thereby illustrating the actual mechanisms of innovation management implementation in Kazakhstani universities. And the second, author provided a number of appendixes in the dissertation. So to enhance the clarity and the impact of the findings, it would be helpful to briefly summarize the conclusion of these elements in the appendices. So these suggestions are in recommendatory nature and do not affect the overall positive assessment of the dissertation. I reviewed all publications of Ms. Aygerem Sekirbaeva. They are all correlated to the topic of her dissertation, as she published several papers in international peer-reviewed journals, in local journals indexed in the ministry's list, in conference proceedings, and these publications cover both theoretical and empirical parts of this proposed dissertation. It shows the author's independence, maturity as a researcher, and ability to conduct research on a relevant scientific problem. So my decision as an official reviewer is award the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, and my conclusion is that the dissertation provided by Aygerem Sekirbaeva is a completed scientific work, and I formally recommend her for the awarding of the Doctor of Philosophy degree in the educational program 8D04102 Management. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor. Now I would like to give the floor to the candidate to respond to the comments made by the official reviewers, please.
We sincerely thank you for your valuable comments, and we'll take them into account in our future research. So to address the first reviewer's comments on So it was stated like in the theoretical section of the dissertation, a clearer distinction could be made between the concepts of innovation management and managing innovation in universities, as these terms are often interpreted differently in the academic literature. So our answer is, thank you for this important comment. A clear distinction between innovation management and managing innovation is made in the theoretical section, pages from 10 to 19, with a structured comparison in table 1, page 13. Innovation management is defined as a strategic system-level process involving institutional policy, governance, and alignment with the national innovation system and triple helix. Managing innovation, by contrast, is treated as the operational execution of specific projects, including resource use, risk control, and performance tracking. This conceptual distinction also informs the research design. One empirical study addresses strategic factors influencing entrepreneurial intentions, while the other focuses on operational mechanisms supporting employability. So subsection 3.3 further reinforces the strategic dimensions through policy analysis. Thus, the dissertation deliberately treats these concepts as a distinct but complementary, integrating them consistently across theory and analysis. The second comment, when discussing the triple helix model, it may also be helpful to briefly acknowledge extended versions such as quadruple helix, which would further contextualize the theoretical framework. Our answer sounds like the dissertation addresses an extended interpretation of the triple helix model on page 24 by referring to the Mode 3 knowledge production system developed by Karayanis and Campbell. This model expands the traditional framework by including civil society and culture, which aligns with the logic of the quadruple helix. By doing so, the study places the university within a broader and more inclusive innovation ecosystem, one that reflects the complexity of real-world knowledge creation and entrepreneurial engagement beyond the core university industry government relationship. So I now turn to the second set of comments by Aknur Jidibek-Kızı. The first one, the practical value of the dissertation would be enhanced if the author included cases of real student startups supported by universities and analyzed their contribution to the development of innovative products, thereby illustrating the actual mechanisms of innovation management implementation in Kazakhstani universities. Our answer, thank you for this valuable remark. While detailed student startup cases were beyond the study scope, the dissertation highlights institutional mechanisms supporting student innovation in Kazakhstan. For instance, the NURIS cluster on page 73 and TTOs at Satpayev University and Farabi Kaznu, page 86 and 87, exemplify how universities foster entrepreneurship through incubation, commercialization, and mentorship. On table 20, page 180, offers strategic context-based recommendations such as IP support and accelerators. Not based on primary case data, they reflect international practices adapted to local realities. And due to limited publicly available data, in-depth empirical cases were not feasible, but the dissertation outlines a solid institutional framework and points to future research directions. So the second comment, to enhance the clarity and impact of the findings, it may be helpful to briefly summarize in the conclusion the key elements of the appendices. So the answer, thank you for this helpful observation also. The appendices are directly linked to the main findings and are references throughout the analytical chapters. For example, the survey instruments, regression models, and supporting data are cited to substantiate key results. And while the conclusion focuses on synthesizing outcomes, the main chapters incorporate the relevant tools and mechanisms. So given the structural format of the dissertation, this approach maintains clarity and academic rigor. So we view this suggestion as a valuable direction for future research or applied studies based on this work. Thank you. Thank you for your attention and thoughtful feedback.
Thank you, Aygerim. Dear colleagues, now we proceed to the discussion. Anyone who would like to have a floor? Thank you.
Dear colleagues, today I really enjoyed the way of presentation, how presented Aygerim her scientific work. It was very confident and highly qualified. Thank you so much. Theoretical justification was done very well, and theoretical models are basically logically constructed and include both cognitive self-efficiency and institutional university environments, and research design also well organized. Statistical foundation of the dissertation as a strong point. Lots of work was done. We can see that lots of work was done by you, and especially in terms of robustness of the analysis, and interpretation results also appropriate and well aligned with the research objectives and academic standards. That's why I assess it positively, but nevertheless, the thing is that it would be improved with some recommendations. The qualitative analysis could be strengthened by interviews with university and business representatives, and this would add real life examples, and practical insights. I hope you will take into account in your future works. Overall, the dissertation demonstrates a highly level of academic and empirical rigor, and author applies a modern qualitative research approach with well-justified hypotheses, and it aligns also the international viewpoints. That's why I assess this scientific work positively, and I think that Aigerim deserves a PhD degree, and I also ask other colleagues to support her. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor. Any other? Thank you.
Can I start there? I want to say that this topic is of this thesis have chosen is highly relevant and timely in the context of overall of Kazakhstan. In her thesis, she used more than 381 sources of list and analyzed more than 20 hypotheses on research framework. It's a lot of work, deep analysis. So on list of resources, she considered many fundamental and theoretical books and journals and papers. I mean, were used, including from the Scopus and the Web of Science database. And in this case, I can confirm that this research is high quality, and of these results of this thesis can prove in modern Kazakhstan for business, government, and universities. Then I want to say that I see on this thesis based on GES project. It's on again confirm prove this thesis very high quality, and this thesis more valuable and relevant in this case. And then I find some recommendations proposed by the fully correspond of the current state on the country, which can already be implemented at the universities, business, and the government sectors. This about triple helix models, I want to say that it's particularly important in domestic conditions again, and presented research lays solid foundations for further scientific research and applied solutions in this area. And for the finish, I want to say about contributions then can become an important starting point for new approaches to the interaction of the state of the Kazakhstan's communications. Thank you. Good job.
Thank you. Any other views? Official, please.
Today, Aigerim defends her very high quality this work very carry out consistently and with systematic work. Thank you your effort. In generally, this dissertation presents timely and methodically robust exploration of innovation management in Kazakhstan universities within the framework triple helix model. In clearly articulates the challenges of aligning higher education with innovation ecosystems and offers practical results in data maybe. By integrating global best practices with Kazakhstan's institutional realities, and the research makes a valuable contribution to the discourse on university, industry, government collaboration. The findings are not only theoretical, grounded, but also high practical relevance for policymakers, academic leaders, innovation stakeholders maybe. So, in conclusion, I would like to rate Aigerim's work as very good because it meets all the requirements, and the work was carried out consistently and very systematically. Good luck and a very future your work. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor. Any other comments, please?
Dear colleagues, we have to admit that triple helix model does not work in Kazakhstan. We try to make it working, but we have a lot of efforts. And the research which was presented today by Aigerim contributes to the gaps that we have in the national innovation system, and in the barriers which interfere to the effective work of triple helix model. So I think that the research propositions and the research findings of this work are highly relevant. They have high practical significance, also theoretical significance. Also, I would like to say that universities suffer from the suggestions or recommendations or models which can be useful for innovation management, improving in the universities. So I think that the thesis of Aigerim would be highly useful and applicable to improve the situation. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed this presentation.
Thank you. Professor Medini, you mentioned earlier that you would like to be involved to the discussion. Please, floor
yes.
is yours.
Thank you very much. And yeah, I agree with other committee members. And I also have had the chance to read and listen to their review comments, which I also agree. And I also have a chance to a kind of make a simple comparison between this thesis and other theses they are being defended. And overall, I think considering all these work, this is a really good thesis. I congratulate our candidate accordingly. But in the meantime, I also would like to make some comments, which I hope would be useful for, I don't know if the thesis could be revised still, or if they can be used for future work. But what I would like to mainly emphasize is that this thesis is really very good, and it has put too much effort, which is very much appreciated. But as a result, maybe it has tried to do a lot in one PhD dissertation. And accordingly, at some point, like I felt, yeah, this is good, this part is good, but maybe they can be separate work. Like sometimes I felt like I am reading 2 or 3 academic work, academic dissertations, one bibliometric study, one data collection on student entrepreneurship. And eventually, I have felt the need to have a bigger umbrella to combine all these, which is actually the triple helix that combines industry, academia, government aspects. But in the meantime, surely one academic work cannot do all. So in that sense, maybe it could be good to simplify some issues and make them more focused. Like one suggestion accordingly would be adding a subtitle about student entrepreneurship. So the main title is that innovation management in universities in the Republic of Kazakhstan within the triple helix model implementation. This is good. This is addressed. But then there are also other specific dissertation aims about this student entrepreneurship, which I think has a significant part of the thesis. So my recommendation is like adding a subtitle that would address this issue. And the others are actually pretty much covered in terms of my and other committee members' comments. But still, I would like to highlight that although this work is focused on particular issues, it could be good to elaborate further on some related aspects, such as this quadruple helix or pentahelix, as well as not only student entrepreneurship, but academic entrepreneurship, and respectfully, for instance, academic performance assessment. I know these are covered in the dissertation, but again, my suggestion would be adding further elaborations respectfully. Similarly, with use of AI and related technological advancements with respect to career management and the related AI concerns about ethics. Yeah, there are very good comments, but maybe for future research, some additional points could be made, and also, if possible, some current examples about this new career matchmaking platforms that utilizes AI could be exemplified. And finally, as I am invited for this committee, I also would like to share my PhD experience. And for instance, in my PhD dissertation experience, which I did in Japan, there was a significant emphasis on research methodology and related philosophical aspects, including ontological and epistemological aspects, because this is a PhD work. Philosophy needs to be incorporated into this. In that sense, another recommendation from my experience would be adding this philosophical aspect as a higher layer of research methodology could also be useful, as it could bridge all these different diversified parts accordingly. But leaving all these comments aside, I thank you very much for the presentation, which I really find it very good and the work behind it is easy to experience that enormous effort has been put. So I would like to congratulate the candidate and the dear faculty members for this very good work. Thanks.
Thank you, Professor. Dear colleagues, as you said, also I am agree with many points that you mentioned. So we see that the dissertation scope is just like wide, as Professor said, and PhD candidate involved several different methods to the research in terms of using also SPSS tools and also the evaluation of industry-related factors and university-related factors. And actually, I had also some points regarding the innovation management and also its relation to triple helix model implementation in university. But as our PhD candidate said, her perspective is from the students' focus, right? So we see that the alumni and students works at the university, and we see that there is also an analysis of students' entrepreneurial intentions survey, which has the global impact. I mean, this survey is covers all Kazakhstani universities and huge number of students. And it has also the global impact because of its announcement and as an official report in outside of the Kazakhstan. And I would like also add some important point to here. This is the first time at Turan University that we have doctoral thesis defense in English. And this is just a really enjoyable practice. In our country, we, according to the dissertations language, we have the also dissertation defenses in that language. And our PhD students are writing their dissertations in English also, but this is the first time that we have the defense at our university in English. And I congratulate our PhD student because of that she is the pioneer at Turan University in this case. And let's continue then. Thank you very much for your valuable opinions and comments regarding the thesis of our PhD student. And now is the procedure for secret ballot voting in accordance with the clause 34 of the model regulations on the dissertation council. Official reviewers also participate in the voting, and their votes are equal in weight to those of the members of the dissertation council. In order to conduct the secret ballot in accordance with the established procedures, we must elect a vote counting commission. And please, I would like to give the floor to the scientific secretary, Iralina Elmira, please.
Thank you, Guljan Jubatkhanna. I propose to include the following members of the dissertation council in the vote counting commission: Raygul Dukinbay-kızı Doshan, Dinmuhammed Nurmuhambetovich Kilispayev, and Periza Jangir-kızı Orunbet. Thank you.
Thank you. I propose to vote on the composition of the vote counting commission. Who is in favor?
Professor Medeni, okay. Who is against? None. Any abstentions? No. And unanimously approved. Dear members of the Dissertation Council, we now proceed with the secret ballot voting procedure. Professor Medeni, you yes, you as
Yes, I voted and sent my response.
The secret ballot procedure has been completed. Dear colleagues, I now give the floor to the chair of the accounting commission to read protocol number 1.
Thank you. Protocol number 1 on election of chairperson of the accounting commission of the dissertation council at Turan University for the training of specialists in field of AD041, Business and Management in Education Programs, Economics, Management and Finance, dated June 16, 2025, for the election of chairperson responsible for vote counting during the secret ballot on the dissertation of Айгерим Маратовна Секербаева, titled Innovation Management in Universities in the Republic of Kazakhstan within the Triple Helix Model Implementation, submitted for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy under the educational program AD04102 Management. Composition of the Counting Commission: Досжан Райгүл Дүкенбайқызы, Келесбаев Динмухамед Нурмахамбетович, Орынбек Перизат Жангирқызы. Chairperson of the Counting Commission, Досжан Райгүл Дүкенбайқызы. Members of the Counting Commission, Келесбаев Динмухамед Нурмахамбетович, Орынбек Перизат Жангирқызы. Let me read the next protocol.
Thank you. I propose voting to approve protocol number 1. Who is in favor? Professor Medeni. Okay, who is against? None. Any abstentions? No. Unanimously approved. Dear Chair of the Accounting Commission, please proceed to read protocol number 2.
Protocol number 2 on the counting votes during the secret ballot procedure of the dissertation council at Turan University for the training of specialists in field AD041, Business and Management in Education Programs, Economics, Management, Finance, dated June 16, 2025. Composition of the Counting Commission: Досжан Райгүл Дүкенбайқызы, Келесбаев Динмухамед Нурмахамбетович, Орынбек Перизат Жангирқызы. The commission was appointed to count the votes during the secret ballot on the dissertation of Айгерим Маратовна Секербаева, titled Innovation Management in Universities in the Republic of Kazakhstan within Triple Helix Model Implementation, submitted for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, PhD in Educational Program AD04102 Management. The dissertation council was approved in the number of 9 members. Additionally, 2 reviewers were included with the right to vote. Total 9 were present at the meeting, including doctors in the field relevant to the dissertation. 8 ballot papers were distributed in person and 1 ballot was submitted online. Number of undistributed ballots, 0. Number of ballots distributed for the voting, 9. Voting results on the motion to confer the degree of philosophy, Doctor of Philosophy, PhD in the educational program AD04102, Management to Айгерим Маратовна Секербаева. In favor, 9. Against, 0. Invalid ballots, none. Chairperson of the Counting Commission, Досжан Райгүл Дүкенбайқызы. Members of the Counting Commission, Келесбаев Динмухамед Нурмахамбетович, Орынбек Перизат Жангирқызы.
I now put the results of the Counting Commission's work to vote. I propose approving protocol number 2. Votes in favor? Against? Abstained? No. Against? No. Unanimously approved. Thank you. Dear colleagues, the voting results indicate that the Dissertation Council for the training of specialists in the field of 8D041 41, Business and Management, and the educational programs 8D04101, 6D050600 Economics, 8D04102, 6D050700 Management, and 8D04103 and formerly 6D050900 Finance at Turan University, has resolved to petition the Committee for Quality Assurance in the Sphere of Science and Higher Education of the Ministry of Science and Higher Education of the Republic of Kazakhstan for the conferral of the Doctor of Philosophy degree to Aygerim Maratовна Секербаева in the educational program 8D04102 Management. Congratulations on your successful defense. And now I would like to give the floor to the doctoral candidate for the final words.
Okay, dear members of the Dissertation Council, Guljanat Jubatxanna, Gulnaz Janatovna, Raygul Dukenbayqызы, Elmira Maratovna, Dinmuhamed Nurmahambetovic, Pirizat Jangirqızı, and Professor Tunç, thank you sincerely for being here today and for engaging so thoughtfully with my work. It is truly an honor to defend my dissertation in front of such respected academic audience. Your questions and remarks were insightful and meaningful. They challenged me to think more deeply and reminded me that research doesn't end with writing. It continues through dialogue. I'm grateful for the opportunity to reflect and learn from this discussion. And I would like to express my heartfelt thanks to my supervisors, to Saltanat Satsenbayevna. Thank you for your steady guidance, your patience, and you believe in me, especially during the most difficult phases of this journey. Yeah. Okay, and also to Tatiana Vasilievna, thank you for offering your international perspective. Okay, and to my reviewers, thank you.
Thank you, thank you. This is normal that you get emotional. Okay. Dear colleagues, now we should decide on the classification criteria of the dissertation. In front of you, you have this paper on the classification. We should choose from 6 here points in each 3 or more options. So the first one, the nature of the dissertation outcomes. 1.3, the scientifically grounded technical, economic, or technological solutions. Those implementation makes a substantial contribution to accelerating scientific and technological progress. If you are agree, okay. And level of novelty of the dissertation outcomes. The outcomes are original. Some outcomes are not original. A significant portion of the outcomes is not original. Which one? You.
2.2.
Some outcomes are not original. Do you agree with this? Okay. Any against? No. And the third criteria, value of the dissertation outcomes, high, satisfactory, unsatisfactory. Which one?
3.2.
Satisfactory. Okay. And relevance of the dissertation topic to strategic research programs. The topic is part of national, regional, or international scientific and technological programs. The other point, the topic is included in fundamental research agendas, sectoral programs, or the research plans of scientific institutions and higher education organizations. And the third one, independently initiated research. Коллеги.
Independently initiated research, third one.
Коллеги, do you agree that this is the independent initiated research?
I think 4.2 because the topic is relevant to sectoral programs in higher education. So maybe 4.2.
Okay, so we can vote if you like. So who is for the point 4.2? Who is for the point of 4.3? No one. So, okay, so the 4.2. And the fifth criteria, extent of implementation of dissertation outcomes with applied significance at the international level, at the cross-sector level, at the industry level, and at the institutional level. Which one? Cross-sector level.
I think at the institutional level.
Institutional level. So if we consider that there is a there is an interaction between university and business and cross-sectoral, the industry or the institutional. So
Okay, cross-sectoral.
Institutional level means that we can implement the practical recommendations at the institutional level in all the innovations that are mentioned here. At the cross-sectoral level, any views?
Let's take the industry level because the outcomes are applicable for education industry.
Yes.
Mostly.
Okay, education industry, so it may also involve other universities and educational entities in the educational and related industries. 5.3, so we can vote if you are not sure about this. Okay. Okay, and the 6 criteria recommendations for broader application of dissertation outcomes with applied significance. 6.1, broader application is recommended, and 6.2, broader application is not required. What do you think, Professor Medini, about these criteria? There is 2 options in relation to this criteria. So broader application is recommended and broader application is not required regarding the thesis outcomes.
Yeah, I mean, this part of the committee evaluation is really new experience for me. In my country, we do not do this checklist.
Okay.
So for
Okay.
my side, I definitely follow the more experienced committee members' suggestions.
Okay, Professor, thank you. But anyway, I just wanted to ask you.
Thank you.
This is all the procedural moments here. Dear colleagues, what do you think about this? Broader application is recommended. Do you agree with this? Okay. 6.1, broader application is recommended. So, dear members, you should sign this paper and submit to the scientific secretary. Okay, dear distinguished professors, official reviewers here, and scientific supervisors, Saltanat Sarsimbaevna and Professor Pospelova, and our foreign member of the dissertation council,
Professor Medeni, and all other professors present here. We would like to appreciate your time and your effort in this thesis defense procedure in this meeting of our PhD student, Айгерим Секербаева. And we would like to wish you all the best and see you next time. Thank you. And now the video recording is to be stopped.
Yeah, congratulations and thank you for making me involved with this work. I wish the best for all.
Thank you very much for all.
Thank you so much, dear professor.